guys, so today's video is a really exciting one because I'm going to be doing my full face of makeup with the Morphe 35M palette. This is called the Boss Mood palette, I believe. It's like the name that they gave it. And here's what it looks like. Oh, aren't these colors gorgeous? I haven't really gotten a chance to play with this palette because I've been really sick the past couple days. As you guys can probably tell, I'm still a little bit stuffy, but I haven't had a video up on my channel for like almost a week now, so I really wanted to get something up. I'm sorry there wasn't a video on Friday or on Thursday. Life got kind of crazy and then I got sick, so yeah, this is what we're doing today. But today we're gonna do our whole face of makeup with this palette. I'm super excited. I asked you guys on Instagram if you wanted to see me do my full face of makeup using this palette or the Makeup Revolution Nuance palette, the one that they did in collaboration with Emily Noel 83, and you guys voted for this one as of right now. So I'm going to film it with this one. I would also still like to use the Emily palette down the line, but I'll wait a couple weeks before I do that one because I actually have another idea for a full face of makeup using a palette. So I'm going to do that one first, but we're going to do this one today. So yeah, if you guys want to see how I create a full face of makeup using this palette, just keep watching. When I do that, I say just keep watching, and then I realize, hey, I have more things to say. So I did want to say that I was inspired to do this video by Jamie Page Beauty. If you guys don't follow her, you should. I'll link her down below. But I was also really inspired by Smith Cosmetics' latest Sunday Live. They do these awesome lives on Sunday night. They really talk about how, as an influencer, you can build your following. And this weekend, they talked about, how did they put it? It was what influencers and makeup artists could learn from each other. And one of the things that they said that makeup or influencers could learn from makeup artists is that they're constantly trying to use products in kind of unorthodox ways, kind of different ways than they were really meant to be used. So I thought that was a great idea, and I've done one of these challenges before where I think I used my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. And so I wanted to try it with another palette and just kind of challenge myself. And since this palette is new and I do plan on reviewing it, I thought this would be a really great way to kind of really get some use out of it and get to know the formula in more ways than one. So yeah, I think that's all I had to say now. So now let's jump into it. So I did quite literally scoot you guys in a little bit closer so you can see kind of more what I'm doing on my face. So I did actually already apply foundation and concealer under my eyes, and I set it with a little bit of powder. I did this in my other video too. Jamie Page Beauty didn't. She kind of mixed some eyeshadow with some moisturizer to create a foundation, but she has like perfect skin and I really don't. So I went ahead and kind of perfected our base so the top products kind of have a fighting chance. So I'm not really sure where I want to go in with. I think maybe we'll just do our face first. I've been doing my eyes first a lot lately and I really like doing that, but that's just not what we're going to do today. This palette does have like names for each shadow on this little clear thing, so I will be referencing those. So if you guys are at home, you can follow along. So I think the first thing that we're going to go in with is bronzer, and I feel like this one or this one are going to be the best bronzer tones. Ooh, this one looking real deep. Swatch this one on the back of my hand. That one looks kind of green though. I don't know. Maybe we'll mix the two together. And those are the shades Play It Cool and Peachy Keen. So those are kind of the mid-tone browns that we're working with. And since my other bronzer brush is completely filthy, I'm going to take my Real Techniques blush brush and I'm just going to kind of mix those two together. I'm trying to keep this mainly on the tip of the brush because I really don't want this shade going everywhere in case it is a little bit dark, and I'm just gonna bronze the skin on the outer perimeters of my face. I feel like not a lot of color came off, so maybe grab a bit more. Maybe I wiped off a little too much. Well, that's better. Definitely not my favorite bronzer ever, but just giving us a little definition. I was really worried it was gonna be like super green with that kind of yellowy brown shade, but this really isn't bad. I mean, like if I was in a pinch, this would absolutely work. I feel like it's not blending quite as well as like my actual face powder bronzers, but this is eyeshadow. Well, I feel like it should blend better than my actual face powder bronzers. At least on my forehead, I feel like it's blending a bit choppily. I feel like I used one of these shades in the crease the other day and I didn't have blending issues, so Maybe it's just my method of application. Now I feel like we're looking quite bronzed. Now I think I'm gonna go in, should we try contour? We might as well, right? It's for the video. So I think for contour shades, this is not an overly cool palette, but the two more cool tone browns right here, those look identical to you guys too. Yeah, that one swatched really, really poorly. And those two are the shades Talk Dirty and Sparks Fly. So maybe we'll just tap lightly into Sparks Fly because I think that one is maybe a tad bit more cool toned. I'm gonna take this gigantic fan brush that I got from AOA Studios. It's the F11, and I'm just gonna very, very lightly dip the very tip of this brush into that shadow, and then I'm gonna tap off the excess like a crazy person and wipe it off on the back of my hand, and then just very, very lightly, oh geez, oh my gosh, go in the hollows of my cheeks. I mean, I'm definitely contoured. It gets a bit deeper than what I would normally choose to contour my skin with. I'm just kind of going along the hairline too, just to kind of balance it out. Then I'm just gonna wipe off the excess on my arm. And I think I'm just gonna kind of blend upwards and back and forth. You never ever want to blend your contour down because that's just gonna drag your face down. But I feel pretty darn sculpted. I'm gonna take just a bit on like the very apex of the brush right there. Contour my jawline so we're nice and evened out. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse. So now that we are nice and sculpted, I think it's time to go in with some blush. So, see, I feel like blush is another kind of challenge with this palette because it does have a lot of rosy tones, but they're really deep. I'm feeling like I kind of want to go in with a cranberry purple eye or like a really pretty like fall eye, which I mean, I guess that is fall, but like orangey, that kind of cranberry, the deep raspberries, oh, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go in, so I'm gonna go in with this shade right here very, 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 very lightly. To do that, I'm gonna take this brush from Crown. It kind of reminds me of the Real Techniques brush, but it's less fluffy, which that might be a mistake, but that's okay. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Sweet Beets, which again is this shade right here. And I'm just gonna take, oh, that's too much, too much, too much. I'm gonna brush that off on the back of my hand to get rid of some of that product. And then I'm just gonna start to lightly buff this onto my cheeks. I really don't have a blush this deep, but Emily Noel 83 always talks about that kind of Snow White flush, the In From the Cold, where you use a bit of a deeper blush like this. So this might be, oh, the solution to that problem. See, I feel like this looks okay in real life, but on camera it just looks crazy. Looks like I have clown cheeks. I'm just gonna add a bit more product to do this cheek. Maybe if I like stipple the product. I mean, I'm really not like that upset about the shade. I think it is kind of a deeper blush tone for me, but it's kind of pretty. I'm just gonna blend it out with my e.l.f. complexion brush. I just use this brush to apply translucent powder every single day. I use to set down my foundation. So I feel like in real life that blended out super easily and actually really beautifully. I'm really impressed with how that blended out on camera. It's a wee bit strong, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out on the face. So next we're gonna go into highlighter, and there's literally only one shade in this palette, light enough to highlight me, and it's this shade right here. It's called Light of the Party, not Life of the Party, Light of the Party. To do that, I'm gonna take another AOA Studios brush, and this is the F19. This is supposed to be a dupe for the AVH brush. Yeah, I'm not really gonna be shy with this because I think this is more of a satin shade. And I'm just gonna buff that on my cheekbones. Okay, maybe not a satin shade. That is super pretty. I'm just highlighting my cheekbones, the tip of my nose, the bridge of my nose right there. Do you guys highlight right there? I used to never do it, but I'm kind of into it now. And then my Cupid's bow, of course. I feel like this is not the most intense highlight. It's coming off really intense on camera because I have bright lighting, so it's really catching the reflection. But in real life, it's more of a soft highlight, which is really beautiful for like every day. That worked really well. I'm pretty darn happy with it, and I don't think it really emphasized my texture more than any other highlighter would, so I'm pretty happy with that one. So guys, now we're gonna move into brows, and I am a little bit nervous about brows because last time I did this challenge, when when I was using the Too Faced palette, I was using like a brown that was actually a pretty good match for my brows. It might have been a little bit dark, but then I dipped into Triple Fudge, which is like this near black brown shade. It is, I mean, it's a great shadow, but my brows were real strong. They were way too dark. But today, I am not quite sure which colors to pick. I think I'm gonna start with Play It Cool, which is this shade right here, and then maybe mix a little bit of this shade right here, which is, what is that one called? Sparks Fly. I think I'm gonna try to mix those two a little bit to get my perfect brow shade, because I feel like my brows are in between those two. I'm just gonna use my AOA Studio E133 brush. It's just a double-ended brush with an angled brush on one end and a spoolie on the other. Looks a little bit dirty from the brow pomade, but there's no product on there. So, per usual, I'm gonna start by brushing my brows upward. Then I'm just gonna mix Play It Cool and Sparks Fly. I don't usually fill in my brows with powder. Oh, maybe that'll be okay. Oh wait, that's a little dark. We'll start mixing in a little bit more of Play It Cool. But I don't usually fill in my brows with powder because, you know, I don't really know why. I just never really have. I've always used a brow pencil or a brow pomade. I really didn't start filling in my brows till maybe a year and a half ago. No, maybe like 2 years ago. I used to just slick like some tinted brow gel through them and call it good because I really don't have that bad of brows. I mean, they definitely could use some shaping. Really not that bad, so I never really felt the need to. You know what, that is not a terrible brow. I'm really not that mad at it. It's actually not that terrible of a tone for me. I really want to put some brow gel in it so it doesn't like go all squiggly, but it's really not that bad. So I'm gonna hop off camera, finish the other one, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so now both the brows are done, and while I was also off camera, I kind of primed my eyelids with some Essence I Love Color Intensifying Eye Primer, and very lightly set it with some translucent powder. And I also kind of planned out my eye look, so the weather is like absolutely gorgeous here right now. It's been a super weird weather day. It was like 55 earlier, and now it's like 76 degrees outside, so super crazy Michigan weather. But I went for a walk earlier, and I was really inspired by kind of the changing leaves on the trees. And so I kind of mapped out the color story I want to do on my eyes, at least the shimmer shades. The mattes I'll kind of just build in my crease until I'm happy with them. But I kind of want to go with this yellowy green gold because a lot of the leaves right now are still kind of green. They're kind of turning a little bit yellow, which is really pretty. But then they're also turning these beautiful fall shades right here. So I just thought it would be kind of a really fun interpretation of that. I mean, it's just makeup. You do it to be creative. And as always, I'm going to do one eye on camera, one eye off camera. Let's kind of just hop right in. I don't know what I'm going to use as a transition shade. There really isn't much to use as a transition shade, so I think I'm just going to go in with Play It Cool, which is right here. And I'm just going to take that on an M433 brush. Yes, it's a little dirty. I'm sorry. I haven't had time to wash my brushes. I just started feeling better today, so I just kind of jumped on my first opportunity to film because I really missed you guys. I really love filming. Good to be here. So I'm just kind of sloppily blending this in my crease. It's kind of going to be a transition shade. I kind of wish there was a more mustardy shade in this palette because I think that would be really pretty with the colors I'm going to put on my lid. But there's not, so we're just going to stick with this brown, and I'm just blending it out with a big fluffy brush. These blend really nicely, actually. I'm pretty surprised. I was a little bit doubtful because this does not feel like the Jaclyn Hill palette formula because that palette is one of my all-time favorites and it's really, really high performing. So I was a little bit disappointed when I swatched this and they didn't feel the same, but they're performing pretty well in the eyes, so I guess I can't really complain too much yet. So I think I'm gonna start by blending this warm orangey shade, which is called Fired Up, kind of into my inner crease area or the middle of my crease. And I think to do that, I'm just gonna take an AOA Studio E30 brush, and yes, this brush is dirty, but I literally used the same exact shade the other day, so I thought it'd be okay. And I'm just gonna load this up on my brush a little bit and kind of just focus this. You know, let's just do it on the whole like outer half of my crease. I'm not really bringing this too much into the inner corner. I'm just kind of focusing it on the outer half of my crease and also the outer corner a little bit. Sorry if my voice is getting worse. I think I'm kind of starting to lose my voice. I'm almost over this cold, but I'm like still kind of congested. And so now that I've placed that orange where I want it, I'm once again going to take the fluffy blending brush just to fuse those edges. I feel like those blend really well, but they don't necessarily stay on my eyes the best, you know what I mean? Add a little bit more of the orange, just so that's really intense. Because I do want that color to kind of show even when we put colors on the lid. That's more the look that I was looking for. And next, I think I want to go in with more of like a cranberry shade. So I think I'm going to go in with the shade FOTD, Face of the Day. I think that's what they're trying to get at. I'm gonna take this little pointed, like, domed blending brush that I got in my Morphe Copper Dream set. I used to not use this brush, like, ever, but recently I've really been into kind of using it for more, like, precise crease work or outer corner work. I'm just kind of blending this into that outer corner and a little bit into my crease. Again, not taking it into the inner corner. The shade is really, really pigmented on the eyes. I wish it was a bit more like purpley like it shows up in the pan, but we'll just add another color on top because I do want that kind of raspberry punch on the eyes. But again, just kind of blending that back and forth very low in my crease and in my outer corner. And I do think I am going to use the same brush and take kind of a more punchy pink shade, and I'm just going to take this one right here, which is called Sweet Beets. Oh, I forgot we used this one for blush. And I'm just going to do pretty much the same exact thing. I just want that raspberry tone to be a little bit more amped up in the crease. I'm trying really hard to keep this not like low right there because usually I just clean it up with concealer. If I do that, I'm just going to blend the fluffy brush. But I might go in with a little bit of concealer and clean it up at the end if I feel like I got a little bit too low. That's looking real pretty. I'm not going for anything super complicated because I know this video is going to be long to begin with. So if you guys want more tutorials with this palette, I think I'm going to do at least one more with the greens. But if you want more than that, please let me know in the comments below and I would be really happy to do that for you. I'm not really sure if this is cheating or not, but I'm going to take a little bit of my ColourPop No Filter Concealer on an eyeshadow brush. This is the AOA Studio E122. I'm going to cut out my crease, or at least like 2/3 of my crease. Because I really want these shades to pop on the lid, and adding a concealer base under them will really do that. I'm not going above my crease at all. I'm kind of just keeping it on the lid. I know some people like to go above their crease, but I feel like with my eye shape, it takes a very particular eye look for that look to be good, or to look good on it. So I'm kind of just taking this maybe more like 3/4 across my lid. I'm kind of leaving my outer corner blank. I was just kind of feathering the concealer out that way. I wasn't grabbing any more on my brush. Then I'm just going to tap the very outer edge with my ring finger just so we get a really nice blend. And then next, I really want to start building up those lid shades. So I want to go in first with the shade Pop Star, which is that nice like yellowy green gold. I don't have any other shade like this in my collection. It really reminds me of that Crayola crayon. I think it's called like yellow green. I always thought that was like the weirdest color. I'm just gonna press this mostly on the inner like third of my lid. I want all these shades to kind of overlap a little bit, so if it goes a little bit farther, I'm not too worried about it. Ooh, this shade has really pretty sparkle. I hope you guys can see that on camera. Very pretty. I noticed that when I was playing with this palette the other day that a lot of these shades have a little bit of sparkle to them. They're not just like straight metallics, which I really enjoy because I am so into glitter right now. So now that I've kind of placed that on my lid, I am going to go in with the next shade, which is that really beautiful metallic orange, which is called Bright Eyes. It's right here. And just load that on my brush, and then ooh, I feel like that one was way creamier in the pan than the other one was. And then I'm just gonna place this kind of on the center of my lid, overlapping that yellow green shade. Okay, that felt a lot creamier in the pan, but I feel like it's not that much more pigmented. Oh, I lied. Second layer was all it needed. In my experience so far, I haven't tried every single shadow in this palette yet, but these are not like one and done shimmers. I feel like they definitely need to be applied with the finger or wet, which I mean isn't really that big of a deal. This palette is only 24 bucks, so it's really not breaking the bank. If this palette was $40, $50, $60, then I might be singing a different tune, but it's pretty darn affordable, so I don't really mind working with the shadows a little bit. So now that we kind of have that orange built up, I do want to go in with kind of a deeper, more burgundy shade. And so I'm just gonna go right next door, and this shade is called Boss AF. I feel like these names sound like so weird coming out of my mouth because I don't actually talk like this in real life, so it's just kind of a weird thing for me to say. And I'm just kind of packing this on the outer corner, overlapping with that beautiful orange shade. Wow, that shade is really pretty. I feel like that is the most pigmented out of the three that I used on my lid today. I'm kind of taking that shimmer all the way to my outer corner, maybe leaving like the very, very outer corner blank, but I feel like my eye is pretty right now, but I feel like I want more, like just more from these shadows, so I am gonna go in with each color again and kind of re-intensify it, and I'm just gonna use my Cover FX Dewy Setting Spray to wet my brush, and I'm just gonna kind of intensify these a bit. I haven't worn like anything other than the bare minimum makeup wise in probably a week. It was a busy week before I got sick, but then once I got sick I like didn't even want to touch makeup, which is how you know that I'm like really sick. So I'm feeling some drama. Oh yeah, look at how punchy that orange is now that I wet it. These definitely perform best wet. Just love how much more vibrant they are. I think I'm gonna bring this orange in a little bit farther towards my inner corner. And I still want that yellow, but I feel like it just wasn't quite blending right the first time. Then finally, I'm gonna go in with that more burgundy shade, Boss AF, and I'm gonna pack that on my outer corner. And just blend it into the orange a bit. Yeah, I feel like that is so much more. It's definitely closer to what I wanted. So now we definitely need to line the eyes with this look. And I think I want to do just, oh, I mean, I only have powder to work with. But I think I'm pretty okay with the way the shape of this eye look, oh geez, I just wiped like a whole bunch of stuff away. How the shape of this eye look is coming out. I'm gonna buff that edge a little bit because I did wipe it a little bit at the edge, so I just want to diffuse that harsh edge a little bit. So I just want to line my eyes with some black shadow, and to do that I'm just going to take my Essence eyeliner brush. This is an awesome precise liner brush. If you guys are looking for one at the drugstore, it's like $1.99. I'm going to go in with this matte black shade called Black Magic. I'm just going to load my brush up. I do want this to be kind of on the intense side, so I am going to spray my brush from the get-go. This is a really easy way to make even matte shadows more metallic. I just wouldn't wet those quite as much because sometimes they can get a little patchy. But I'm just going to line my upper lash line. Oh yeah, look how intense that is since we wet the brush. Beautiful. So I just did a pretty normal liner. I didn't wing it out or anything. I did it relatively thin because I just like thin eyeliner on my eye shape. So I am gonna hop off camera real quick, do the same thing to this eye, and then I'll be right back. So my memory card got full, so I actually just kind of buffed that medium toned brown, this one right here. I think I showed you guys that before it cut off, but I just buffed that under my lower lash line using this little Coastal Scents brush. I never know what to call this brush. Here it is. It's just this brush. It's kind of like, it's not really a packing brush, it's just kind of a shader brush. Shader brush, that's what it's called. But anyways, I just kind of buffed that under my lower lash line just to give myself kind of like a transition shade underneath my eyes. So then I am definitely going to go in with this orange shade. I think I kind of want this to be kind of smoky, so I think I am going to take this on a pencil brush. This is the M431, I think. I've used it so much that the letters have rubbed off. And I'm just going to take this mostly on the tip of the brush and just run it under my lower lash line. Kind of the whole thing. Well, mostly like, I'm not really bringing it far into the inner corner because I think I want the greeny gold to kind of loop, not loop in, but like to come around there. I'm definitely being generous and kind of sloppy with it. Because I feel like if you don't have a lower, like a warm lower lash line, does this really fall look? Oh, okay. I'm just blending that out with kind of a pointed blending brush. This one is obviously clean. And then I'm going to take a little flat definer brush. This is from the Alamar Cosmetics set. I don't know. This one doesn't have like a number or anything. So I'm going to mix these shades FOTD and Sweet Beats on that little flat definer brush. And I'm going to smudge this in my outer corner more so. I'm going to smudge it down a little bit. I'm keeping it close to my lower lash line, but not like super duper close. because I am going to go in and blend this out with that brush that we applied the orange with. So we do get some of that really nice cranberry shade. I just love this shade this time of year. That's pretty much all I want to wear. Just taking that pencil brush that we had the orange on and just really buffing that out. Now that that's pretty nicely buffed out, I am going to go in with that yellow gold shade like I said. It is called Pop Star and it's that one. So I think I'm going to take my e.l.f. small precision brush and I'm just going to load this brush up with that shade. I might need to spray it, I'm not quite sure yet. And I'm just going to kind of bring this around into my inner corner and onto my lower lash line. I think I might layer that highlight shade on our inner corner just so it has the same tone, but it's a little bit more amped up. This is a really pretty shade, holy moly. I feel like the green is really popping in it since it's not next to like the oranges. And like I said, I am going to take the highlighter shade that we use and it is called Light of the Party. It's right there. Just going to take the same brush. I'm going to take kind of a small amount because I really just kind of want the brightness of this shade, not necessarily pearly champagne-iness of it. Just so my inner corner stands out just a little bit more. And then I'm going to pop that on my brow bone real quick, and I am just going to take a shader brush. This one's from my Morphe Copper Dream set, and I'm just going to pop that on my brow bone. This is a beautiful brow bone highlight. I like more satiny brow bone highlights. I'm not really into a super metallic brow bone highlight. This one is working fabulously. So now that the eyes are done, I'm going to hop off camera real quick, apply some mascara, and then we'll be back for the lips finally, which I'm actually really, really excited about. So I did load up on the mascara, and this is kind of the completed eye look. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I just realized that edge is a little bit choppy, so we're going to blend that while I talk. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out overall. I think the shadows performed pretty well. But now let's move on to lips, and I'm actually really excited about this one. I'm going to use the Nivea lip butter, and I have mine in the scent, I think it's just cocoa butter. It smells really good. Wait, I can't smell it a little bit. I'm just going to apply a little bit to my lips so the powder has something to stick to. So I can't decide if I want to do like a metallic berry lip or like a soft blotted berry lip. Let's start with the soft blotted berry lip. So I'm going to kind of blot this off on my hand. Kiss it off, I guess, because I do want some stickiness there, but I don't want too much. I'm going to dip into the shade Sweet Beets right there, and I'm just going to go in with my finger. I'll go in with a lip brush at the end to kind of perfect the edges. I'm just going to start tapping this on my lips. And just like this. I'm really liking how this is turning out. It's just really soft and just kind of not messy, but it's not super like perfected like matte liquid lipsticks tend to be, which is something that I kind of don't love about liquid lipsticks. I feel like they look super harsh, which maybe it's just the style of makeup that I do, but I feel like that doesn't really vibe with the rest of my look. So I really love kind of shearing them out over lip balm. I think it's stunning. So I like this, but I feel like I almost want to lighten it up a bit, and I don't know how to do that other than like use a metallic. I usually would use a gold, but all we have is this greeny gold. Yeah, I feel like that might be a disaster. So I guess we could go in with the shade right here. I hope you guys can see that. I'm a mess today. I haven't filmed in so long. This is called Color Persona. It's a beautiful cranberry. Yeah, let's try to top that a little bit in like the very center of the lips. I'm just taking it on my finger once again. Just pressing that into the lips. Yeah, that'll work. I mean, I'm not like in love with it. I really would like to pair like a warm nude with it, but there's really nothing in this palette that would function as a warm nude, so we're gonna go with this. I mean, it's not bad. It's really not bad. I just don't usually pair this bold of an eye with a bold lip as well, but I think it is turning out pretty well. So that actually completes the look, guys. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I have a full face of makeup on, so I must not be. But that completes this video, you guys. I will link Jamie Page's video down below if you guys are interested, and I will link the first version that I did of this video. It's quite a long, I did that quite a long time ago. I feel like it was like 2 years, maybe 1 year, year and a half, I don't know, but I'll link them both down below if you guys are interested in checking them out. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to check out my Instagram and my Pinterest down below. I'm not that active on Pinterest, if I'm being honest, but I am very active on Instagram. We are actually almost at 1,000 followers on Instagram, and we are actually going to be doing a giveaway, so make sure you go follow my page over there so you don't miss out on the giveaway. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.